get to that. All right, here we are. Let me bring up this window so I can see it. So here we go. This is what it looks like right now. Who has clinched a spot? The Chiefs, the Bills, the Steelers, the Texans, the Ravens. Now, Steelers and Ravens are battling for that number 3 spot right now. They're battling it out. They've both secured it. So, you know, do you want a home game or do you want to just rest up your dudes over the next few weeks? That's what the question's going to be. They're both going to be competitive anyway, and they're just going to go balls out. In the hunt, though, you've got the Chargers. You've got the Broncos. If things pan out in a certain way this week, the AFC could be absolutely locked up. So, for that to happen, for that to happen, whoa, jeez, Louise. So, if these 3 teams all lose this week, Miami, Cincinnati, and Indianapolis, if these 3 teams all lose this week, AFC is locked up. Boom. Those will be your 7 teams, and these guys will be eliminated. Doesn't matter. Any of this shit. If they lose, they're out. And that's simple. That's just how it is. Kansas City, first seed, with a Bills loss or a tie. That's not going to happen. They're going to be sweating it out for at least one more week. That's all I've got to say about the AFC. I'm not going to entertain the thought of these guys having a good chance to get in the playoffs because, like I said, as these 3 teams lose, they're going to be effectively eliminated from the playoffs. So just don't count on these 3 teams making it. Don't get excited. Don't get excited. 8 is a lot of losses. They're 2 behind here. Come on, man. All right, now I want to talk about the NFC. On the NFC side of things, we've got the Lions. We've got the Eagles. We've got the Vikings. These guys are all locked in to go to the playoffs. The Lions, do I have any information on what they've got to do? No, they're just in the 3-headed race right now. Eagles, with a win or a tie this week, they actually clinch the NFC East, which means that the Commanders will be having to battle for the rest of the season for a 7-seed spot. And I do believe that the Eagles will win this week and clinch the division, meaning that they can just focus their efforts on getting that first round bye. And they should be able to win out. Like I said, they've got Washington, then they've got Dallas, and then they've got the Giants. 3 divisional games, but 3 divisional games that they can absolutely dominate. Now, for the Washington Commanders to clinch a playoff berth this week, they would need a win. They would need a win this week. They would need a loss or a tie from Atlanta, as well as a loss or a tie from the Rams. Alternatively, they could win, plus there could be a loss or a tie by Atlanta, or a loss or a tie by Seattle. So a lot rides on them winning this week. Again, I don't think it's going to happen, so we'll have to have this playoff clinching scenario updated next week, or at least after the games tomorrow. But yeah, that's what they need to do this week to clinch. They need losses from Atlanta and the Rams, or they need losses from Atlanta and the Seahawks, as well as beating the Eagles this week. Like I said, I don't think it's a very likely scenario, so these guys will be battling another week for that playoff spot. What else do we have going in here in terms of playoffs? With the Rams and with the Seahawks, these guys are currently tied up. Rams have the head-to-head over the Seahawks, which is why they're in the number 4 seed right now. This could absolutely flip towards the end of the season. Like I said, week 18, Seahawks and Rams do match up. So that's going to be the definitive decider for that division. But depending on what happens with these Commanders, like, they could get knocked out. And then it could be Seahawks. be Falcons. Don't think it's going to be the Cardinals, but it could be. Any team that has 8 wins, 8 losses are not making it through. That's how it is. Saints right here, they're going to lose this week. They're going to be eliminated. Simple as that. Next up, the last thing that I have to talk about is Green Bay's playoff chances. I didn't talk about the Bucs and how they can lock up, actually. I don't think they can lock up this week, actually. It wasn't in the scenarios, so they cannot lock up. I'm only talking about teams that can lock up in scenario today. So let's get over to Green Bay. So Green Bay clinches a playoff berth and the number 6 seed with a win. That's all they need. They win and they're in. But they could actually secure a playoff spot before their game actually starts. So in that case, if Atlanta and LA Rams, if they lose or tie, Green Bay make it. If Atlanta or Seahawks lose or tie, Green Bay make it. Safest thing for them to do is to just win the game against New Orleans, but their fate might be written before their game even starts. So I'm sure the Packers are going to be watching those 3 games this week, just hoping that Atlanta loses, hoping that Seattle loses to Miami. Seattle loses to Minnesota, my bad. They're hoping that bringing in that rookie quarterback for Atlanta makes them lose. The Rams, I do have to beat the Jets. So, there's that there. Again, Atlanta losing, Seahawks losing. Very, very, very possible this week. So Packers might have that playoff spot before they get to play on Monday. Let's hope. And then we can just enjoy. We can just enjoy this game and enjoy the ass pounding that New Orleans is going to receive on Monday. I know you're all on the same boat. You're all on the same page as me right there. So yeah, those were the playoff scenarios, guys. This shit could be locked up this week. If these 3 teams lose, AFC is how we see it right now. Things could obviously shift up and down. Steelers and Ravens could swap spots. Broncos, Chargers, they could, go 6 and 7 up and down between there. And then with 6 losses, it could even, either Pittsburgh or the Ravens might even drop to the 7th seed or something. Either way, the NFC is a different beast. It's not so simple. We've got these teams who can lock it up. Buccaneers cannot actually lock up anything this week. They can just win. Rams can't lock up anything this week. They can just win. Commanders can lock up based on certain scenarios that we went over. And the Packers can lock up by winning or with a couple of teams losing this week. That's the playoffs. That's what the playoffs are looking like right now, guys. That is absolutely what it looks like. I have been going over these tiebreaker procedures, but we don't need to look at those just yet. We'll talk about them in the next coming weeks when things are a lot more solidified on the back end.